Hello, Liga.
Hello.
At the end of the last episode, you said that the main thing listeners should take away from the interview was to be brave. In these last 2 weeks since, have you done something brave?
Oh yeah, different aspects, different things. Conversation with my partners in Portugal that I would like to make the podcast also in Portugal. But I don't. Oh, I would like to show these two books what I have bought. Yeah, these two books are about green human resource management, and you can imagine that in this book, View from Global South Countries, it's possible to read that green HR practice is in so many countries in Asia and also in Latin America. And now I have a great book where to get the inspiration, and I think it's very important also in my next podcast to share some experience from this book.
Okay, and for those who are listening to this podcast for the first time, where else can they learn more about what is green human resource management?
It's very important to remember that green human resource management is human resource management which is focused on to achieve sustainable goals of the company. It means that we need to organize recruitment, training, also involvement, also rewarding, and personal appraisal in the manner how we can support achieving sustainable goals. It's important to be brave and to start to realize HR in different way.
Okay, and you also have the first episode of the podcast, right, where you explain more about this.
Yes, in the first episode I told about why it is so important and what does it mean human resource management, green human resource management, and I invite to listen my first podcast and to see why this is important, especially nowadays.
Okay, and where are we today?
Today we are Schwenk Latvia is located. We are going to meet Human Capital Director Linda Šedlere. She has very good experience in HR, and for me it's so interesting to know how she combines sustainability and HR.
Okay, let's go meet her.
Let's go.
Do you want to introduce yourself for the new listeners?
Yeah, my name is Liga Peiseniece. I am a professor and researcher in human resource management, and my passion is green human resource management. And this podcast is about different experiences in Green HRM, and I am also interested to organize different talks with HR managers, with academics, to introduce with different experiences.
Hi, Liga.
Hello,
Nice to meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
How are
Thank
you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, very welcome.
First time in Schwenk.
Really?
In Latvia.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Then let's go. I will show you around.
Yes.
We are a family-owned company, one of the oldest family-owned companies which are producing construction materials in Germany already for 177 years. So a lot of history behind, a lot of history ahead. So we are happy about that. And here in Latvia, Schwenk is since 2019. Previously, we were known under a different name, but in Latvia, our history started almost 90 years ago in Brocēni as a main spot where our cement plant is. But ancestors of that company were already in Riga, dealing with materials, making first cement here in Latvia from the materials brought from abroad. And then the limestone quarry was found, limestone reserves were found near Saldus. And then it was decided that the cement plant will be built in Latvia because of that reserve. These are in fact our raw materials and also fuels. I will tell a bit later what we do with that, but in a nutshell, these are all the materials for our construction materials which we produce. Raw materials, fuels, and the end product.
Oh,
So starting with the limestone, clay, sand, then fuels, which is a bit of coal, a lot of eco fuel. Then the clinker is the main material out of which the cement is made. We are adding some gypsum, some anhydrite, and slag, and then we are milling the cement. And out of cement, you are making ready-mix concrete. And out of ready-mix concrete, you are making the structure. Easy saying, cement is like a flour for the pancake.
yes.
Then the concrete is a dough, and the product is a pancake. So that's easy speak.
Today, I am here in Schwenk in Latvia to talk about Green HR initiatives in Schwenk in Latvia. And my partner for conversation is Linda. And Linda, could you tell a little bit more about yourself and your experience in HR?
Hi, Liga. Hi, everyone. Sure. First of all, welcome. Happy that you are here, wanting to listen to our story. And me, I'm here in the company already. This is my 20th year here, so we'll conclude the second decade soon. And Schwenk is the cement producer, the only cement producer in Latvia. We are also producing ready-mix concrete. And we are also doing quarrying works to supply materials from the quarries for our production. And at the end of the day, we are doing everything to provide sustainable building solutions for generations to come.
How you decide to be as HR in Schwenk?
Well, it was really not a decision.
No?
It was rather a twist of life. As I started in the company being a concrete business analyst. So I joined the company as a finance person, and it was back in the beginning of 2006. And that time it was my already fifth working experience, and I decided to make a move as I was previously employed in some state institutions, some other companies, and I was eager to look into the production. And for me, that was the next step. So I joined the company. In fact, that was a funny story as well, as I passed 6 interviews. That time for me, I said, if there will be a 7th interview, I will tell no, that I simply just cannot anymore. But the 7th call which I received was the hire call. And then I joined the company, and that was the year of change, as in that year the company was just acquired by a very big stock-listed company as part of the assets in Europe. And there was a lot of change. In half a year, I became one of the oldest ones in Riga office. So for me, it was very stressful, because I thought, okay, what's happening? Everyone's leaving, and just some recent hires are staying. But then I understood the reason. It was simply totally different business approach, and I was happy that I joined in that moment, because I was part of that change. And in fact, the colleagues which joined around the same time, we are now making part of the management team. And probably that's the consequence, because we were the change makers, and we survived that time to become stronger together. And that's where we are now. So it was now current position, and I'm holding the position of Human Capital Management, Health and Safety and Communication Director and the board member of the company. Current position is the sixth for me in this company. So I was going through strategic planning, then I was controllership manager and many more positions. But then, now ending up in human capital management, health and safety and communications, and you probably might think, okay, finance and human capital, but that's very natural for me because I would say that in a production company, you have to have an understanding behind the figures in order to manage also people, because that's how you interact with the business, where you have engineers, where you have people who like to deal with the data, with the proof, and you have to be knowledgeable in that. So it's just probably a natural move that someone from finance in such a company moves to human capital
So
management.
rich experience, but it's really great. It's really great, and I consider that it's very important to also to deeply understand how the company work, and if you know from different angles the processes, you know the people, and then it's more efficient, and you are in the board level, and this is also not so usual for our country. Only half of big companies, they have HR in the board, and unfortunately, but you are also board member. How you can influence the processes in the company and
Directly.
directly. Okay.
And that's the beauty of being in the management team of the company from human capital management perspective. Why? Because decisions are not taken behind the back. They are decisions. These are decisions which are made based on valued opinion, and which is well weighted. So you have a business interest, then you have this human perspective in it, and at the end it works only together, because if you are making decisions at the board level just from the business perspective, it will most probably lead you to very high results in short time. But if you want to sustain your business for a long run, if you want to become a marathonist, then you have to have an HR person at the highest level of the management.
It's really great. It's really great. But you are also a global player, and you also export the products to different countries. And how it affect the HR, these processes and recruitment and everything.
First of all, it's enriching, because if you have this global or outside the country perspective, then for sure you might, first of all, you deal with diversity more directly. Secondly, you are enriched by different cultures, and you become more empathetic towards the process, as you are not dealing just with what you got used to in your culture or people surrounding you, and it gives you a different motivation. Why? Because you see the bigger picture. You see how your work is affecting colleagues in different countries, and if it helps them, then you are motivated by yourself. Why it is important? Because most of the times human capital management, those are the people who are giving a lot from themselves to others, but who are probably not so much receiving back. And then this motivation being in bigger environment than just like country boundaries, it's a lot of motivation for our team, that they see the effort given, which comes back with the fruit. So
This podcast is about green human resource management, and I also has HR experience, and I have defended my doctoral thesis about HR effectiveness, and recently, I also become a supervisor for doctoral student who prepare the thesis about Green HR, and the Green HR become more and more popular also, but it's very important to understand why we don't talk so much in our meetings for HR managers or for when the CEO talk about sustainability, why we don't talk so much about green HR. And when I started to analyze this situation, I understood that the companies, they are doing a lot in sustainability, and many also activities are related to also HR. And then maybe you can tell about Schwenk interest to be sustainable, and how what are you doing in this sustainability focus on part.
You know, there is a saying, you hire for the attitude and you train for skills. And this is very nice saying, but not always true in real life. Because in our industry, in our company, let's compare, we are having out of 360 employees, we have 153 jobs in our company. So every second person is taking different occupation. There are like, I don't know, the electricians or mechanics, but there are a lot of experts which are just like one-off experts in their job in our company. And it's hard to imagine that I would go to the market and say, okay, I want to hire everyone with that correct attitude for my company, because simply understand that for me, the skills are which prevail. So when I'm starting the process of recruitment, let's say, for example, which happens very rarely in our case, but then for me, the professional skills, the competences is something what I put up front. And then during the course of interviews, we might come to the facts, which is also linking our values to the person's values. And of course, we are very vocal about what we believe in, and we are putting up front our sustainability effort, and we see the outcome of the candidate when they speak to us. Are they at the same understanding and willingness? And even if probably they haven't been yet in the environment which is driven by the innovation to achieve higher sustainability standards, then if you see that sparkle in the eyes, you think, okay, I will teach you how it is to live in an environment which thinks about sustainability. But you have these professional skills, and that is like, that's the process. We cannot afford just select those who believe that the green is the best, or that sustainability will now save the world, which we believe it is. But we are convinced that if you have professional skills, and if you believe that company has this drive, and if you want to be part of it, anything else we will teach you. And also, if I think of myself, even 20 years ago when I joined the company was totally different. So these were totally different values that time. And there were, some first thoughts of how we might and why we should become more sustainable, but it was not on a daily agenda. So how we transformed our team and even ourselves, it's a journey. And you just take these brave steps to take this journey and to move forward. And I have seen in 20 years how the team transformed with us. So I'm still convinced that any new hire might be converted with your values if these values are really lived. There are many companies which say, okay, I have a value to become, I don't know, more greener or more sustainable, but if they don't live it, and if they don't show it with the daily actions, then nothing will really happen. And then your teams will probably leaving saying, okay, I haven't seen that. haven't lived that. My daily life was totally different than what you say on your board of values, and that's why I think sometimes it's not so important if you are very loud on it, but it's rather more important what you do in your company, how you shape your culture of the sustainability, and what are your strategic goals on that. So.
Could you say the key aspects how you cultivated this culture? Because you told before that you were in these big changes in this company, and then during these years you see the difference, yeah, and you see how this culture has changed. But what was the key aspects? The people, or the now you are in another group of companies, or something else?
The only aspect in all of the change and possibility to change is the human being. Machines will be made by human beings, but human beings are the only ones which are able to change. So human is in the center of everything. And human is led by certain prototypes of the leadership. So our belief is also that once you decide what you want to do, you have to have a strong leadership on it. Your leaders need to live these values. They need to wake up with these values. If they are waking up during the night, they should name them. They should show their attitude towards it. They should live the same lifestyle, what they are expecting from the people. And I believe that our success in many fields is driven by the leaders and their teams, which believe in these actions, because these actions are consistent. They are based on our beliefs, our mission, our values, and independently of the times. It's just like the way it is, because we have also faced during my history in the company, we have faced a lot of shaping times. We have had big crises. We have had pandemic with the 24/7 production. It's quite challenging, to deal with the pandemics in this environment when you need to make sure that the process is smooth and the production is running. We have faced the high price rise, which is affecting people's minds and also companies' existence even. Yeah? The high electricity prices were, at some point, we were so devastated that we were having even a team who was managing which equipment should be switched at what hour in order to save electricity. And all of these changes, they are shaping the people's behavior. And I would say with all of these changes, we just became more flexible, more resilient towards the process, and that's uniting also people. And sometimes the people say, okay, the change is draining us out. Yes, you should be mindful, you should take care of the people, but the change is also strengthening you. And anyone who has faced a lot of changes becomes out of the change much stronger. So I believe that's why we have a strong, loyal team. I mentioned, and I will repeat, that we have below 4% attrition rate, which is compared to the market average 15 to 20. This is an enormous achievement. And sometimes people say, okay, you have such a static team that it's not good for the change, because you cannot afford, your process does not move if your people are staying in the same place or so. Our people are not staying in the same place. They are driven by new technologies which are coming into our business, new requirements which are coming on top of our agenda for the Green Deal, and so. And people have to change. They have to learn. They have to make a success on different goals every year. But on top of it, we keep that human perspective. And human perspective, you asked what was the starting point. We started with the safety approach. Taking care of someone's health and safety drives a lot of other changes. when you start to speak with the person, okay, I want you to stay safe. Once the person understands that on individual level, that I, as a human being, want to stay safe, you start to explore that you want to stay safe also in the environment. So I have to take care of the nature because I'm part of it. I have to take care of the limited resource which I use, in our case, stone, which we use in the production. I want to give back that place where I'm taking out of that stone from the ground. I want to give that place back to the nature in the best shape possible so that birds and nature can live in it. So you are shaping that future from your individual perspective. I believe that a lot of the times people are not very successful of driving the green change because they are not starting with the individual perspective. And those which they want to change, they are not yet there to believe that there is a value proposition for them as individuals. So once we twist a bit that perspective, and if we start with individual perspective, so what's in there for you as individual, then the change starts to happen.
As this is a production, then you have also the very big challenge also how to deal with carbon emission. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. That's our.
Maybe this is not in individual level, yeah. Maybe this is in the company level, in production level, yeah.
Yeah, well, decarbonization of our industry is our top priority now, since already like many years in the past, and now also shaping our future agenda up until 2030 and even further. So. We are willing to decarbonize our industry completely, and this is where the whole Europe, at least for now, is moving. Cement producers are like huge emitters of the CO2 because simply the material which we burn is releasing the CO2. So in these gases we have to capture it, and we have to either give it back to the ground, either use it as a material for other industries. And we believe that it will happen in Latvia soon, that we will be able to decarbonize ourselves to the maximum possible at current day technologies. And we want to reduce our CO2 emission by 90%, capturing the CO2 and really supplying it to other industries or storing it. And this is a great effort because a lot of new things will happen in between. First of all, there will be technologies which will be like absorbed by our current industry into the production facilities in order to make it happen. It will take a lot of effort from people to learn new skills in order to achieve that. And if we speak about green jobs, then it will not involve just like staying somewhere with a poster and telling, okay, I believe in green future. It will require a lot of really knowledge in chemicals, in technology, in material production. So material science will be there. It will require the knowledge of understanding the implications and requirements, which is the basis of the policies made in Europe. It will require to be able to adapt to the changes needed, because what we think currently will happen, probably in 2 years we will be speaking about something slightly different, and we should be able to adjust to it, so to be agile. And all of these processes are in front of us. It's starting to happen already. It's in front of us. But as we are the biggest CO2 emitters in Latvia, so we are emitting around 7% of Latvia's CO2, just as one company. We feel and we feel our high responsibility towards decarbonization, and we of course understand that we should be the leaders in it, and there will be probably no one who will tell us which is the best. We just have to try it, and we are ready for that. Which is the other aspect is that any more greener technologies will require more electricity consumption. And this is another challenge which we face, because we are already highest one of electricity consumers in Latvia. So giving a perspective, we are out of total electricity consumption in Latvia, we are consuming 2% out of everything in Latvia. So we are the biggest, and we understand that if we want to capture CO2, the electricity consumed by us will be even higher, because there will be new technologies, new machines driven by the electricity. And that's another challenge, how to make power more greener. So this is also we understand that we are not alone on this issue. We are having related industries which will need to accomplish their goals, so we are successful, and that's why we feel very responsible also towards cooperations and collaborations with linked industries. At the end of the day, it is giving the only possibility for us as a human being to survive on this planet. Because if we not move there, then at some point the climate change will simply swallow us. And we already see the climate change effects on us, on daily life. Now we are meeting in February, but it's green outside. And you might say, okay, nice, it's green. But in fact, it should be white, it should be cold, it should be like normal. Even if we think of the industries being in production, in construction, and so people have to work outside. Yeah. That gives another perspective. If they have to work outside and being affected by climate change, it's much harder. Green transformation also leads to the secondary materials, which will at some point come into the process to be dealt with, so that you are not using just primary material from the nature, but you are using something which was already used. It will pose another type of risks for the human being. Yeah? Do we know out of what materials these secondary materials consist even?
Yeah, but it means that for our employees that it's all this lifelong learning is a must. And how you can also deliver these specific knowledge for them in these green issues. How you can do that, because you mentioned that you have this the employees who work in production, then you have employees who work in office, and they work in different different departments, and they have different responsibilities. How you can organize this green training for them?
Well, nowadays, more than any time before, it is very important that you are as close as possible to your people. So the best approach, which we are also practicing, is bring people constantly into one room. Either it's virtual, either like physical room. We do it both ways. So we have a physical room where we meet with possibilities to get into the meeting online. And we just address these issues. We train people, we speak about, we don't hide, we are transparent, we raise the topics of importance, we raise the voice over these. People are allowed and welcome to ask any questions which are on their agenda, because sometimes where our mistakes are is that we think that everyone thinks at the level of the management. People which are on site, they have different agenda, different daily habits, different issues which they face. So they have to be able to interlink that necessity in their jobs with the agenda which you have, and how you can interlink just by coming together, by addressing these issues, explaining in very simple words. because most of the times our people also, for them it's very hard to understand all these abbreviations of different things, and then we start to explain. Then they ask questions, okay, but what that word means, and then we explain further. And how can I help? Then we explain further, and what we promote is also that, first of all, transparent environment where everyone is allowed to ask questions, and we are responsible giving these answers. Secondly, we have fostered already for many years the communication effort, submitting ideas. So what we do is we are welcoming our people to submit their ideas or inquiries through various systems. One is called risk reporting system, so that people are able to report on spotted risks. Such reports we are receiving from our 360 employees, around 2,500 a year. So we just recently counted that in 12 years we have received 22,000 ideas from our 360 employees, which is a great, I would say, great effort done. There are a lot of improvements done because of that, and that's how you build the system of being responsible. First, you are welcome to address your issue. You are addressing it. Then you are receiving a feedback. Okay, we are doing something about that. Then you are receiving actually the visual completion of your inquiry in the form of improvement. And then you say, okay, I feel appreciated because my ideas are taken into account. If I see something, I report, and I know that it will be done. And this is how we work for very many years. And this reporting system is also triggering the questioning system, which should be there at all times. You shouldn't be in a situation that you want to lead a change and you are saying, okay, now we will have a change and there should be no room for questions, because that will be a disaster. Mm-hmm. And this is what we don't want. So we have an open dialogue, not a monologue, mm-hmm. With our employees constantly, because they are the scarcest resource which we have.
Yeah, and I see that the key word, I think it is a culture, and this is the system, how you work, and systematically, that you understand what is the most important, and based on this most important aspects, you also to build the next steps, and this is your sustainability approach is very organic in your company, because this is not something new and something very special. Yeah.
This is what we say about sustainability. Now a lot of companies are hiring sustainability specialists or managers or so. And when we are asked if in different surveys, okay, who is your sustainability manager, we are saying we don't have one. We are just simply having that integrated in all our functions. So human capital management team and health and safety team and communication team is taking care of social aspect. Then we have environmental, legal department and businesses taking care of course, social, but also environment, governments, and those. And like really, if you live these values, then it's really, as you said, organic. It is like systematic approach. We don't have a issue getting the data, because we simply are getting the data because we want to know what we do. And it's just like a matter of reporting these. So for us, it's also very organic. And people are just like living that system. And we are saying to ourselves, those who cannot live in the system, they are gone in 2 years since hired. And I would say that's good, because in a way, the person you hire, you expect them, first of all, once you do the decision that you want to hire someone, you are expecting that you are hiring a loyal person. But loyalty is built through your culture, because these are the values which are either matching or not matching, individual and company. And we want that loyalty to be built on the values which we want to see in the future. So that's like constant interaction, and people who just simply are different kind of, who cannot live in these values, they are simply gone. But as I said, our attrition rate is very low, and then again, it's like I'm telling that it's the decision at the management level which efforts you will sponsor. Either you sponsor constant hire, constant retraining, and so either you sponsor your people, current people, and their education and their attitude, and it's totally different approach.
I stand for the second option.
Yeah.
Yes, this is also my approach, and I work for business school, and our employees they work for our school more than 25 years, and that in our school we have a lot of changes, constant changes, but they are very adaptive. They also like to introduce something new. They come also with ideas, and this is also my approach, that we have created the space for the agile system where we can work and we can improve our actions through iterations, and we see that how it's possible to develop something new. And I think it's very important, because that if we just hire, then it is. It's not possible to make the loyal environment and loyal employees. But I see that your big plus is that you are HR, human capital, and also communication person, because this is also very important for HR, and also now for Green HR, that we speak with the people in their language. We understand their needs, or we try to understand. We ask them and we speak in their language. I think it's very important also to explain, to ask the questions, to ask the also initiatives. Maybe you can tell one most interesting initiative which came from employees.
There were a lot of things, like just recently when the electricity prices were affected by the situation caused by war in Europe back in 22. There were a lot of initiatives coming from employees how to save the energy. That was like in generally very good in practical views. But employees, I would say, have shaped us as a company, because with their queries and with their questions, I would say not that they implemented certain initiatives, but they stopped company from doing something waste of time. Because if you start to listen to your people and have certain ideas which you start to share with them, sometimes you understand that it might be a waste of time, resources, and so on, if you implement that just for the sake that others are doing that. It's not always like fitting. One trouser don't fit everyone. So I would say that it was not that our certain initiatives which were like truly magical, but rather that this open environment helped us to make decisions which are accepted by our people, which they see the good use in it. And these were these energy efficiency initiatives. These were certain initiatives where we improved in the plant the places where the social spaces are located, so that people feel more better in their work environment, and so on. So this was like rather which I want to mention. And that it also helps for the green. Why? Because when people are driven by the culture which is sustainable, then they think always that if I will suggest this idea, whether it will also be compliant with the general company's values. And this is how we implemented some of the mobility solutions, some parking spaces, and some other things. So, yeah.
Okay. About mobility, please tell about that.
Yeah, well, mobility solutions, we have many of them because we have, first of all, we have a lot of places in Latvia where we operate. And we are trying to find the ways for each place to be mobile, but we have some struggles as well. Why? Because imagine, sometimes the stone quarry is in the middle of the woods. So you cannot foster just like going with the bike or so. Then you are looking for the solutions, so people are co-driving. We are located, our cement plant is located in Brocēni. We understand that some of the experts will want to live just in Riga, but if you provide them with the possibility to go to Brocēni, then they will be more than happy to work for you. So this is how we organized our company's bus, which is traveling every day to Brocēni, because then we are taking out that component that everyone goes with their car, but we are then helping people to get to the work. Then we are promoting, we have big territory of the plant, we are promoting going with the bikes. So the special bicycles, tricycles even, with the special load carrier baskets, which people drive in the territory of the plant. We are promoting also electric mobility. We have installed electric chargers in the territory. So that's how we foster that people are selecting greener choices when they think of their vehicles, and so on and so on. Since pandemic, we became more also cautious of the business trips. We have reduced the amount of these most of the times, which, for example, if our office is in Riga, also in Brocēni, previously we were, when you have a meeting in Brocēni, then everyone goes to Brocēni, sits there. Currently, we are always having a hybrid method. So those who are in Riga, they are more than welcome to stay in Riga, connect to Brocēni, and exclude that component of additional CO2, fuel, and so on. When we go somewhere, we are asking, do you go as well? And then we combine ourselves in one car, and so on and so on. So there are like really small but important steps which we can make. Currently, when we were starting to count our CO2, then we also conducted a survey between our employees, what are their habits of the daily mobility, and then we found out very interesting things which we might work upon. So which are the routes people are coming, and people do have, for example, you cannot imagine, but sometimes during summer months they come from one spot, and during winter months they come from different spot. So it's again a challenge how you make that happen and what you as a company do.
Yeah, it's interesting work. But do you also analyze data yearly and also inform employees about, for example, this mobility, or about reducing carbon emissions, because you decide to a little bit reduce the business trips? Do you analyze these data and also tell employees about these results?
Yes, sure. Yeah. We are telling at all levels everything where we see the result of our sustainability actions coming into the different kind of KPIs, and people need to see also what's in there for them. And when we tell them, okay, because of the reduced cost in this spot, we can improve this for you, because we are saving money on one thing, but we are investing in your well-being, then they see also the result. And that's the best, that you are not only saving on something, but you are investing that saved money in the future of your people. And if they see that money coming in their well-being, either in their pockets directly, either in their well-being in their work environment, they are more than happy to contribute. And this is how we do also campaigns. If we are doing some campaigns of, let's do the campaign of energy efficiency, for example. People are welcome to submit their ideas, but then you give prizes for that. First of all, you implement that idea and solution, and then at the end of the day, you say thank you to the people, and then people are prizing themselves and also being proud of that. So yeah, that's different ways how you look on it. So.
Mm-hmm. And do you have some common activities, for example, tree planting?
We are having a joint work. We are taking care of our territories because our territories, as you might imagine, these are very big. We have dozens of hectares which we need to take care of. We are planting, of course, trees. We are taking care that our territories are cleaned. We are taking care that our territories are nice place for the birds and other creatures to live in, and this is taking an effort. So yeah, we are doing that. But the most important thing which I want to mention is that we start again with that individual mindset that first of all, you don't make a mess. So someone else does not need to take care of that mess later. And that can be achieved in very different ways. This is structural, systematic approach towards your workplace. These are lean principles which we are implementing in our business. This is explaining to people, and that we do a lot, what you can do at your home environment, not only in the company, because we are true believers that your good habits start at the home environment, and then you bring these to your work, and not the opposite. Sometimes, yeah, it helps the work environment, but we try to also interlink our actions with personal life, and then people see how it might help them. Because if we start an effort of energy efficiency in the company, we give also tips and tricks for people to save energy at their homes, and so on and so on. So people see the actual benefit in their wallets also by saving their household cost. And tree planting, cleaning, helping communities to deal with environment challenge, supporting different kind of projects is what we do in Schwenk. Yeah, we also are having this community contest, which is for the implement different kind of community projects in Saldus region. We have helped educational institutions enabling their efforts to teach children regarding environment, for example, or safety. There were a lot of nature objects installed or renewed thanks to the sponsorship from the company and so on. So we want to be part of the solution, not a problem. And that's why our effort is towards something what we can improve, not destroy. This is like a wall of fame, if I may call so. We have prizes linked to the sustainability efforts we are doing for many years. We have a lot of prizes acknowledging our diversity in human capital management. We have a lot of prizes also telling thank you of the actions towards safe work environment. A lot of prizes also which are acknowledging our environmental effort. And there are also some prizes which are linked to the sustainability reporting, which is the final piece which we are adding, because now everyone wants to report, be transparent, and
But you have a almost history to preparing sustainable reports.
Yeah, it's since 2012-13. We were having our first insight into it under GRI reporting guidelines. We were reporting as a group for stock-listed company. We were also measuring our real effort into it, so it was not just the reporting, it was also measuring different kind of actions we do, how it is interlinked with what we report. And it was done globally. So we have our history in the reporting for very long. We are already, since the CSRD standards were still under development, these were published as a drafts only, we started to report under these as well. So we were assessing what's needed, what are the data points, what we can report upon these. And we were starting to make our report close enough to meet the standard. And that was the year when we received Deloitte acknowledgement. We were the winners of the best sustainability report in Baltics that year. And we are very proud of that, because that said we were ready to make the next step and to be prepared for this year, which is already mandatory reporting year for us.
But what is the most important award for you personally?
For me, attrition rate, which is below 4. This is the best award for me, because if people want to work here, if they feel good in here, if they feel appreciated, driven, if they tell that I cannot imagine any other place to work, that's the best award for me. So,
do you have any challenge where you are just looking the solution?
I would say entire decarbonization effort is a big challenge, and that's totally, we are in by 200% into it, looking for the ways to first of all deal with that as a company, but secondly and most importantly also to look if the policy makers are at the same page. And what we see currently, still we are struggling in Latvia, but I'm sure that it will come with the time, that sometimes even the policy at the state level is not supporting green targets, because this was made 20 or 30 years ago. And that time no one thought of the need, for example, to store the carbon in the structure of the earth, or to use secondary materials in the production. If your building on a construction standard is written in a way that you use only primary material, then it's not meeting green goals. And you have, as a company, you have to drive that change to show that, okay, let's look into the Nordic example, that once you destroy a building, then at certain percentage, the same material which is in the construction site from the old building dismantling, you are putting into the new building, and that's the only sustainable solution for the construction. Currently, we are yet in a very baby steps for that process, and our company and our industry is facing really a huge challenge to make sure that circularity of the material.
But you are also the part of different non-governmental organizations where you also to deliver your ideas. You also promote sustainability. Yeah, maybe could you tell a bit more about that?
I will definitely be. I will be not able today to mention all of those, because
but maybe
these are
more,
so many.
more related to sustainability and maybe the green aspects. Yeah.
Well, we in our management board we have a person who is a climate pact ambassador, and she is really very close by dealing with the activities at the European level, bringing that knowledge to other industries first of all. Bringing together industries which might help each other to achieve these Green Deal targets, and so on. Then on my agenda in human capital management, we are working at the European levels for Skills 2030 agenda with the trade unions at the European level to make sure that these green jobs in our industry, ensuring circularity of the material, ensuring decarbonization activities, that the people in the industry are properly trained, that they are well in shape to be able to get the job in 2030 and further. So that's the effort which should be done now, because otherwise it might be too late. And the participation in these activities is absolutely a must, especially if you are the only industry company in the whole country as we are. So we basically understand that we have no, friendly other companies which are helping to each other directly in your business in terms of sustainability. So in the aspects where you don't compete, but we rather than do that effort with the similar companies in the European level, and that's very important because otherwise either you are in, either you are non-existent, and for us it's the matter of even surviving. So in 2030 there will be no cement which is not sustainable.
But if we look on this term, on this concept, green human resource management, we cannot read so much in Latvian media or in the books how to promote this idea, because I see that so many companies do a lot of activities which are activities of green human resource management, but how to talk about more, how to promote, what is your idea?
I think sharing experiences, just simply coming together, saying green is new black. So what we are doing, starting to share, fostering the change for those who are not yet there. Sometimes we are thinking of our future employees as the resource which we have to compete for. Of course, it's true, because any company wants to hire the best expert in the field. But on the other hand, we all want to become better. So we have to exchange the ideas in order for us to become better, so that our future employees see that change and see that change actually happening, not written on the board. And there are very many activities which are probably there, but not in the spotlight. I don't know. Digitalization of a lot of processes, how to, if you digitalize, how you can reduce the digital footprint which you leave, which are the processes there, and so on. So it has to be sometimes baby steps. Sometimes those who are already well advanced, they need to see, okay, what others are doing who are also well advanced. Probably there is this one simple, minor, important step which I should take in order to improve my situation. And it's always so that if you do not do anything, then your first steps are big and bold. You are like starting to sort waste. Okay, we are starting to sort waste. When the waste is sorted already, then any other step might be very challenging. I don't know, how to reduce the water consumption, how to reduce the resources spent on your activities, how to reduce, I don't know, company logo. Have we thought of like what colors of the company logo leave less footprint in digital environment? Probably we haven't, but we can think about that, and so on and so on. So like a lot of many smaller and bigger things which we haven't thought of, and that exchange of experiences might lead us to greater ideas. And which is very, I would say, good for Latvia is that the country is relatively small, and we can say that the all bright minds can come together in one big hall. And that would be the way to go. We have to use that momentum of being small but very very knowledgeable and very eager to adopt any new things nation, which we are. We have a lot of women in science. We have a lot of great minds which have developed something great in the global perspective. So we have to foster that IQ and competence possibilities. So.
Thank you, Linda, for this great conversation and so many new things for me, because this is my first visit in Schwenk Latvia, and I knew that you do a lot also for our economy and also for society. But these aspects in sustainability part, these were something new for me. Then my suggestion, you can tell more. But this podcast is also a very good way how to tell, yeah, because it's really great. And I from this conversation, I can say that 5 points I will remember. That the first one is the very important to create the agile and innovative culture. This is the most important if we want to introduce something new, then you need to have the culture where the people accept that as you said, this sustainability starts in individual level. Everyone needs to understand what it is and how what we can do in the sustainability. Then the next one was your challenge, what you mentioned about decarbonization and how you also see how it's possible to solve, and you are interested also to educate society about this issue and how you solve it. I think it's very important for whole society to understand, because sometimes we just live in our bubbles and we don't think about that, and we have stereotypes about planting and producing, and this is very important. Then the fourth aspect, what you mentioned, that you have these different mobility solutions, and you're based also on employees' needs, and this is also very important, that you see what is really needed, and you offer different solutions. And the last but not least, I think it is your idea bank, where you collect ideas and you also respond on these ideas. And this is as I mentioned, this is not only about green issues, this is about different issues, safety and also different issues. I think it's very important, and thank you for possibility to deeper look and understand how you work, and I wish you the very good results in the future, and also cooperation partners who has the same mindsets, who can also to support you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, and I was really lucky to share, and we will have many more interactions with a lot of people in Latvia and in Europe for this, because it's simply the only future which we can live.
Linda also mentioned that state regulations and laws are sometimes posing challenges for sustainable solutions because the laws are simply outdated and old. Do you have any comment on this?
I think it is quite difficult to make positive changes in short time, because now we try to adapt so many regulations which comes from European Union, and this is quite difficult to influence the lawyers and decision makers, but I think we can, and this is great that the Schwenk Latvia is very active in different organizations. They also promote what they are really doing in sustainability, and they promote also ideas of solutions, and I think they go in the right direction, but from my side, I can say that it takes too long time. We need to be more active, more faster, and in our country it is possible. We are really good in doing very fast, but I think at this moment we need also to be fast also in legislation. This is what we can do.
Okay. See you next time.
See you next time.